Okay, good evening. Wanted to do a little update on my modeling progress. This is an aft view of the model, one of the model Daedaluses, and I was kind of using this to model the aft end of the ship. So after about a day and a half, this is kind of what I have. This is kind of what I have come up with. I designed it a little bit different. Whoops, let's get out here. But I designed the end cap. So it'll slot in here and align it. And I also designed it so that it slide out here a little bit further. Let's rotate it 90 degrees on the Z-axis. And let's try it the other way around. Let's rotate it 180. Excuse me. I can zoom in on it. So anyways, this is like I said, this is the tail end, and I put some of the colors in here because this, when I print this is not going to print the colors out. But one thing I did do is, and I haven't stitched in the name tags here yet. I still need to stitch these in. But I kind of have this idea that I could print this out with different names because I actually have these names raised. So if I wanted to do different ships, I could Modex these different numbers or these different names. And I actually didn't, like I can show you on the side of the ship here. Come over to the side. I worked this into where this is colored on the hull, but I didn't actually. Let's go back to object. So I worked this into where I colored this on the hull, but I didn't by any means. And I could actually raise these out, and I lined up the lines, and I filled in all the windows so that they can be filled in with the I'm not sure what it is. It's kind of like a dental chemical, but you can fill these windows in, and you could depending on the scale, you could fill these windows in, and you can UV put that in. It puts kind of a frosty, transparent plastic in there, and then if you light it from behind it, it kind of looks like the models did when they were filming them in the 60s. Or I could actually, on the large scale ones, I could actually print transparent windows to plug into these. Like on the other ships, I might drag out rails so that you could put LED lights in here real easy and then cover them up and stuff. I still have to do some modifications on the I have to do some Boolean operations on the boom section up here and the deflector dish cap. I still got to do some cutting and some modifications on that. I haven't put the name on the front, and this isn't really per se necessary for the model because you could actually, I can get the paper and stuff to custom make decals also. I can make custom decals for this. I can print them. I might even buy a laser printer to do that because I think the laser printers make and cut better decals, but I'll see about that as we go along on this. But I kind of did I have liked models that sometimes where you have raised letters, and I could actually, like I could stitch this in with where it says United Federation. I could stitch this into the hull, and I could actually design the nameplates to be wider than this, to where you actually have a box area with a lip, and then you could paint this separate and then like glue it in there, and then that way I could make separate. I could do custom names, or I could make if I do this in a kit, I could make it to where you have the horizon like on Cisco's desk, or you could have there's about 3 or 4 that's kind of famous or whatever. And I'll show you the back side of this. So one thing that's kind of cool about this too, back to that tab, I designed this especially in a smaller scale. This is the end cap with the hangar bays doors closed, but I can duplicate this, and I can also make this with them open in the open position, and then I can extend out and actually model the deck inside of here. And in the larger scales, I'm thinking in 1/200 scale or 1/100 scale on this ship, I can actually probably model this to where these doors would slide open and close and have the hangar bay in there, but actually have them to where you could open and close them on the bigger model. And then that way I can just model in, like I said, I can model the hangar bay in here to where you open the doors and you look in there and have the hangar bay. Plus I could possibly get rig it up to I have an area so I could put photo etch in it, so you could light up the landing bay light, like have landing bay lights that light up and whatnot. But I wanted to do this. I don't want to drag this out. I plan on making these 20 minutes, and they end up being 30 and 40 and so on and so forth. But I just kind of wanted to show the progress that I was making on this. And so this come off of DeviantArt, and I'm not sure exactly who drew this, but I thank them for this design. This is a really fairly feasible design to this, and I like the way they textured it. I'm thinking about modeling in lines on the globe here, or the command globe. One thing I do plan to do with this, see right now I just have this, I have it mirrored, but I don't have the mirror apply. But what I did do too is I put in some little support greebles, and I haven't done this on the bottom yet, but I'm planning on, I'm going to play with the bottom and get it, because I want some extra detail on it, but I don't want it to get ridiculous. I don't want it to end up looking like a Star Wars ship or something. I want to keep it with that same TOS Star Trek flavor. I'm also thinking about, more or less, since Michael Okuda basically made this as 129 for the Daedalus, kind of, that same thing, I might model this to where you have your curved area, but have it to where I could put different nameplates in it. I think that'd be kind of cool, and go ahead and do the raised letters. And again, like I said, I could also do decals too, and have maybe put lines in there to where you can see that. And then I could also, I haven't modeled, but I have plenty of lines, so like I could see from their poster here, especially on the angle, I can model in little recesses, so that, and it seems like, I think I counted these, I think they got 14 segments or something like that. It's not like 8 or 16 or anything where it's exactly even. It's more like 7 to, of course I ain't gonna count them now, but I can recount them. But yeah, I got a few different ideas, and one of the other ideas that I was going to get at was that one of the first ships that Matt Jeffries actually modeled was actually more like this, except for the globe was up. Well, actually, I think it was more like that. But anyways, he made one of them is basically upside down, but it was modeled to be right side up. And if you did the series before that, the first name he had scribbled on one was the Independence. So I'm thinking you could make the Independence class by changing around the configuration on these same pieces that I've already, in a sense, 3D kit bash. You could flip this completely over, and then flip your cap and your tube around, and then flip your ball around, and then have your boom neck going into this area, and then put the engines on. I don't know. It's a thought. It's definitely something that would be easily doable since I have the 3D printer and stuff though. So, and I've also thought about printing these out, making transparent domes, and then having the transparent red over it, and make a set with the spikes, make a set without the spikes. On the larger models, the littler ones, I'm probably just going to make the domes where you could light them. But I think on the larger models, you could actually go ahead and set up your motors and kind of like put your Enterprise spinner effects in here, which would be cool. So I'm going to leave it there. That's 12 minutes. It's late. Was kind of wanting to show this off a little bit. And like I said, I think before modeling the engines and the pylons, I'm going to do my Boolean work. Come on now. I'm going to do my Boolean work on this neck area, so that this will be one piece going out to here, and then you'll have your midsection of the boom, and then you'll have your other section of this, your command globe primary hull. This will be tied into this, either out to here or right there, either one. I have it sticking in here far enough to where it'll be supported, because I always hated when I bought models and they had really thin sections and stuff where things, had areas that would just snap. The Klingon D9, the 1/650 scale, the head just popped right off. And then I bought one of the motion picture Katinga that's I don't know, it's not a 1/350 scale. It's kind of a bastard scale. It's 1/570 or something. But anyways, I was painting on that thing for about a week and a half, putting it together, and then it fell over off onto the floor and snapped the teardrop right off on it. And I probably could have reinforced it and fixed it, but I just got so pissed off and disgusted with it that I never did fix it, and ended up throwing that model away. That was a lot of years ago, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. And I wanted to make a note. I've been running the what I call Trek clips from Deep Space Nine, and the last 2 or 3 or 4 that they put on there, they just copyright strike them. So I don't know if I tried to make them too long. It seems like if they go anywhere near 8 to 10 minutes, they strike it. But if I keep them at like 3 to 5 minutes, that they don't. So I could probably work on that, because I know that some of you guys like to watch them Deep Space Nine clips. You guys probably aren't the model fans though, so I don't know if you'll end up hearing this or not. But anyways, wanted to show some of my artwork. I should darken this in. I still might do a little bit more on this too. I'm thinking about how to make this look like, or maybe even put a thing in here where you could put a transparent piece in here with red transparent So you could make like the impulse engines. You could either have impulse engines here, or like, I'm not exactly copying this picture, but I think in this picture, I think these are supposed to be the impulse engines. One of the only things that kind of bugs me about that too is that they put so many around here. It was almost like, like, in a way this is cool, but to me it seems like it's overdone. And I'm not quite sure how these are supposed to be bays. I've seen this on several of the models. These top hatches are supposed to be kind of like bays that open up, kind of like how the space shuttle bays opened up. And I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with that idea. To me, it's kind of like a pro-con idea. I think the size of the ship, it's like it could be feasible and it could work, but I think it's, I don't know, I think it's kind of unnecessary. It seems ridiculous to me in a way, so I don't think I'm going to incorporate I might put in the lines to where you could paint them that way, but I'm not going to model it to where you could flip these open or anything to start with. And other thing I do and I don't like on this, I don't like this bottom rail on the engines. I don't like the way they railed it, and it looks like they clamped it together. I got quite a few pictures and or art of this ship, or this type of ship, and I think I showed that in the last video. There's a lot of different designs on this, but I kind of like the back end of this, or is kind of giving me the ideas of what I want to do, and I haven't decided on the engines yet, but I think I want the engines to look, because I think these look kind of like the original series per se, other than they don't have the curved end caps. But the Daedalus didn't really have but he did kind of put that on a couple of his things. But I don't know. I'll see, because again, what's cool about the 3D printer, I could actually print 1 to 10 different caps to go on the ends of these. So like the modeler could decide which ones they want. You can have ones with the holes in the lights. You can have one with the square holes. You can have the curved ones. You can, there's a lot of options where we can make different parts and pieces so that you could model like a different version of this ship. And now I'm up on 18, so I'm going to close there. I just wanted to get a quick video made. Hope Jerry's watching. And I'll talk some more about some more ideas on this later as I go along, do some more modeling. So y'all have a good night.